Mhm. Okay, so where was the Constitutional Convention held? Who was chosen to lead the meeting? And what state did not show up to the meeting? There you go. So we're still chugging along here with the creation of a new government. We all know the Articles of Confederation, the weaknesses to it, why it needed to be revised. Brock, you like the Cardinals? Yeah? Nice. I was a big fan of the Cardinals when they had Mark McGuire. Remember when he played there? You're probably real young yet. Mark McGuire. He used to have his wiffle ball set and a power bat. It was awesome. You show up late and you want to go to the bathroom now?
You want me to pee on your carpet?
No.
I didn't think so. Can I go to the bathroom, please? Thank you.
All right, so let's go over this bell ringer here. Constitutional Convention. Where was it held? Where was it? Where is it at? Tanner, go ahead.
In the state building in Pennsylvania, which is in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Independence Hall. Good job. Good job. Anybody visit there? Anybody see it? Terry over there? Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. Go down to Philly a lot to see my friends from college, and it's always cool to see it. Check it out. All right, so who's chosen to lead the meeting? Who's chosen to lead the meeting? Nathaniel, you have that? Yeah, George Washington. Why not, right? Very popular. Okay, and everybody knew who he was. Revolutionary War hero. Good, good. And what state did not show up to the meeting? Jeffrey.
Notable no-show is Rhode Island along with Jefferson.
Oh, he beat me to the punch. I was gonna ask people then. So yeah, okay, you got it. Good. So Rhode Island chose not to be there, and one of the main reasons because they didn't want to have a strong national government, strong federal government. They believe that the states should hold a majority of the power, all the power really. That there shouldn't be a national government reigning over top of the states. Okay, good, 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 good. So Rhode Island found a lot on religious freedoms. All right, so notable no shows. Jeffrey, you said Thomas Jefferson. Where was he?
He was in France negotiating terms.
Yeah, negotiating terms from the Revolutionary War. Good job. Maybe establishing a sound ally moving forward. Who else wasn't there? Who else wasn't there? Who's the second president of the United States? Jeffrey? John Adams, and he was in London. Okay, he was also probably solving disputes from the Revolutionary War. And then finally, who was the last one not there that I presented yesterday? Give me liberty, give me death. What was his name? Brock? Patrick Henry, good job. And he believed again, kind of along the sides of Rhode Island, where maybe we shouldn't have a strong national government that reigns over top of the states. Good, good, good. So who was really pushing for this convention, this new, I guess you could say, revisit to this new form of government? Who's pushing for this? We'll talk about what political party was created from this movement here, but who was really pushing for a stronger national government? He's on the $10 bill. Sarah? Alexander Hamilton. Good job. Good job. Good. And George Washington following suit. We all know with Shays' Rebellion, the Whiskey Rebellion, there had to be some, I guess say, some answers solved here, right? We needed to make sure we can answer some questions here moving forward. And with these rebellions already in our, really, in our nation's just first couple of years starting off, right? We need to make sure we have some sound government. We should have some sort of establishment to have a strong federal government if needed, if there's ever rebellions or revolts. All right, good. Okay, so moving forward here are your terms for today. We're going to talk about two plans that helped establish what we know as the bicameral legislature. And we're talking about political parties, where they first emerged. Oh, I know when you think about political parties, you think of fighting, you think of constant aggravation of one another. So we have the Federalists, we have the Anti-Federalists, we have the New Jersey plan, and the Virginia plan. Okay, so there we go. Still working yet? Tanner, you still working? Jamie still working?
Yeah, I'm on the last.
Okay, one more minute, one more minute. Okay, so Federalists, what do we have? Federalists. Taylor, go ahead.
First, the Constitution advocates for support systems of government.
Okay, good job. So Federalists at this time, this is the first emergence of a political party. They're in support of a strong national government and support of creating a federal government. So from who we already talked about, who would fall under a Federalist? Who would be a part of the Federalist political party? They want a strong national government. Jeffrey?
Alexander.
Yeah, Hamilton especially. Good job. So he's really pushing for this stronger national government. Who else? Sarah?
Wasn't James?
Yeah, James Madison. Good job. Yeah, James Madison. Okay. Who else? Who's leading the charge there? George Washington. Okay. So again, strong Federalists there. They're trying to push for a stronger national government. Ben Franklin kind of falls under that too. He obviously understood that we need to have a stronger national government moving forward, especially with all these rebellions going on, like the Whiskey Rebellion, like Shays Rebellion. We need to have order. Okay, we can't let the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation fold us from the very beginning. All right, good. And anti-Federalists. What is like the main understanding of this political party? Sarah, do you have it?
They noticed the ratification of the Constitution and believe that most of the power, if not all, should go to the state.
Yeah, good job. Good job. So there should be more power in the state government's hands. Okay. At the national government, yeah, we need to have an entity there. We need to have some sort of established national government, but the state should hold majority of the power. Okay. That there should be a fine line here where the states actually should have more power than the national government. Okay. All right, good, good. And who would fall under anti-federalists? So they want to make sure that these states had a little bit more power. Go ahead, Tanner.
Patrick Henry.
Patrick Henry, especially. Good job. Who else? Who else? He's a notable one. We'll talk about him here soon enough. And he was about the agrarian farmer, the middle class worker at that time, right? Sarah? Thomas Jefferson. Good job. He's like the biggest one, right? He's the biggest anti-federalist, really, of that time, of that, the creation of this Constitution and this new government. Good, good. So again, states having more power than the national government. Okay. New Jersey plan. What do we have here? Lexington, you have the New Jersey plan?
States and executed by.
Okay, all right, good. So this is a one branch system, a unicameral legislature, right? So this is this unicameral legislature where there's one house, that's it. Okay, we have a bicameral right now. So they're pushing for one house, okay, of legislators voted on by the people. And with that unicameral system, each state will have equal representation. Makes sense, right? If you're part of the United States at that time, you should have equal representation compared to, let's say, a larger state. Okay, good, good. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail than that. Virginia plan. Sarah, go ahead.
It was introduced by James Madison, and it proposed that the government should be, that there should be a strong central government with the legislative, executive, and judicial.
Yeah, good job, good job. So the Virginia plan is pushing for more of a bicameral system. There's two houses, okay? And the representatives in the national government should be based off of population. So Virginia, at that time, it was the moneymaker, right? They made all the money to pay back maybe some of these war debts from the Revolutionary War. So with the tobacco trade, right? Indigo is a huge crop as well. But for most part, it was tobacco. And with that being said, Virginia, they thought, well, we have way more people compared to Delaware, compared to Rhode Island, compared to Connecticut, PA, New York, right? So they should hold most of the representation. That makes sense too, right? If you're a bigger state, if you're offering a lot more to the table, especially when it comes to production value, when it comes to the economics, well, yeah, maybe you should have more of a say in the government. Does that make sense, guys? Okay, so that's what the Virginia plan was all about. Again, brought up by Madison. Okay, good, good. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail as well today. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the Great Compromise, how this all came together, maybe combining of these two plans to create what we know today. All right, so moving forward. All right, so I have up here nationalists and confederationists. But we all know nationalists want a strong national government. That would be what? What political party from look at? A strong national government. Jeffrey?
That would be
What political party would want a strong national government from look at? A Federalist, right? Yeah, Federalist. Good job. So that's another name for it. Nationalist, Federalist. Okay. And like I mentioned, some key founding fathers that fall under this Federalist political party: George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, James Madison's a good one too, if you wanted to write him down as well. That might be on the test, just to let you know. Confederationists, these anti-federalists, again, they wanted states to have majority of the power. They didn't want a strong national government, okay? They thought the state should hold the majority of the power. Again, in fear of maybe an absolute monarch. Maybe that government becomes too strong. And it should be up to the people, right? The states individually should have these rights, okay, and these powers that this national government should not bow over. So confederationists, these are the anti-federalists. So please put parentheses around that as well. And there's another name for them, there's another name for that political party. Does anybody know? There's three names for confederationists. We all know the anti-federalists. And what's another one? What's another one? Hint, it's a combination between the two political parties, the two main political parties today. Democratic Republicans. There you go. Democratic Republicans. So the Confederationists, these anti-federalists, these Democratic Republicans, those are all names of that political party. They wanted individual states to keep most of the powers of government. Makes sense. They don't want to have a strong national government reigning over top. And so key members of that political party, we already talked about it, Thomas Jefferson, okay, huge proponent of the anti-federalists. All right, so each side favors two different plans. Okay, we'll talk about the Virginia plan. We'll talk about the New Jersey plan here as well, and how that sets up the two houses in our Congress. So those are the two political parties already emerging from the creation of this Constitution. Okay, this Constitutional Convention. Already we're having debates of which which should have more power, states' rights or a little bit more with the national government. You guys good with that? Two sides here, the two political parties. We all know these parties are going to collide together, and we'll see where this goes. So, political parties emerging already with the creation of the Constitution. And we all know this picture. I'm sure we've seen it a couple of times. I like the videos that they actually make of each specific founding father, and they go through it and what their beliefs were and kind of the arguments being made just within this. It's pretty neat. So anyway, Virginia plan. The Virginia plan, like I mentioned, this is based off of population. Virginia is the money maker. We all know that. Okay, that had the biggest population. Everyone wanted to go to Virginia because of the tobacco, because of the trade, obviously, because of controlling really the economy of the 13 states at that time. So proposed by James Madison. A what? What is he? Go ahead. What's that? Yeah, he's a Federalist. Good job. He wanted a stronger national government. So he brought up the idea of 3 branches of government. Oh, whose idea was that from the Enlightenment thinkers? Brock. Yeah, Montesquieu, good job. Okay, good. So he thought that power should be separate, but have equal powers. Okay. 3 branches of government, making sure that the government doesn't become too strong, let's say in one branch, one chamber, right? He also brought up a bicameral legislature, meaning there's 2 houses. So if you ever hear bicameral legislature, that means 2 houses. So House of Representatives and a Senate. Oh, look at that. So election of representatives, the House members picked by the people. So in the lower house, that will be picked by the people, voted on by the people. And with the upper house, the Senate, that would be chosen by members of the House. And what does that resemble? A lot of who? What country did we break away from? England, right? So the House of Commons, House of Lords, that's kind of how that's set up. So they were just taking that idea and making it our own. So both houses are based on population. So Virginia, in this case, they had a larger population by a lot. Okay, New York was close, but for the most part, Virginia had the biggest population because of the economic value it had. And they're going to be paying majority of the debts because of the tobacco trade. We relied heavy on that tobacco trade at first in the 1700s, moving into 1800s. So if you had more people, that means you had more representatives. That means you have a little bit more say in what goes on, especially at this time with the national government. Does that make sense, Tanner? Yeah, all right, cool. So pros and cons. Pro, well, we have a strong alliance of the states with the most people, the majority of people. Okay. Obviously, New York, Virginia, a lot of these larger states. PA was up there too with a lot of members, a lot of people, population. So these states kind of teamed up, picked on the little ones. Larger states had an advantage in Congress. We all know with these states, obviously branching away even more so today, there's a lot of different values. There's a lot of different, let's say, values in these states. Okay. And with that being said, each state is run totally different than another. So if one state's dictating what's going on, that's going to make it hard for, let's say, another state. So if Virginia's making all the say, deciding on a lot of the decisions being made at the national level, this could really harm, let's say, a smaller state like Connecticut, like Rhode Island. Right, Jeffrey?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So James Madison, considered the father of the Constitution, and he's the one that came up with this Virginia plan. And what do we have? A bicameral legislature. We kind of took that idea from him. One of the houses is based off of population, taking it from his Virginia plan. We have 3 branches of government. Again, coming from his idea. So you guys good with that Virginia plan here? Population base. Okay. So the bigger population, the more representation you have. Obviously, you're going to have some kickback. These smaller states at this time, let's say like New Jersey, like Connecticut, okay, like Rhode Island, they're not going to be too happy with this. Already, Rhode Island was upset. They didn't even show up to the convention. But this was brought up by William Patterson. And he thought, well, we should have a one-house legislature, a unicameral legislature, meaning, again, one house. So no bicameral, no 2-house system, okay? And this would be based off of equal votes. Each state had equal representation. So in this case, let's say with New Jersey, They have one representative, so does everybody else. Population does not matter with this plan. So pros and cons, well, pro for the New Jersey plan is that each state is equal in representation. That's nice. The con, well, they have the same amount of votes, the same representation as a larger state. So Virginia, who's housing a lot of the bills, who's taking care of a lot of the bills, who's really helping us out with the tobacco trade here, paying back our war debts, they have equal representation as a smaller state. So New Jersey plan, it's nice, equal representation. But when it comes down to it, like Virginia paying all the bills here, has a much larger population, you're having equal say as, let's say, a smaller state. Pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. So think about on your own, think of it on your own. If you had to decide what plan to go with, which one would you go for? Which one would you go for? So I'll give you like a minute or two. You can talk with a partner if you want. Decide which plan you would choose if you were sitting in the Constitutional Convention, in the debates, on what type of government we should go with. Which one would you go for? Angel, what are you thinking?
What?
What plan would you choose? New Jersey plan or Virginia plan? Oh, that's nice. There's somebody. You pick New Jersey too? Sarah? What plan do you think? Virginia?
Oh.
All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Tanner, what plan would you choose?
Probably the New Jersey plan,
Why?
just because it's more equal representation. Everybody's equal no matter populations or all that.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay. So you're saying all the equal representation, that's where we should go. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But if you're footing the bill, if you have a way bigger population, are you gonna be upset that they have the same representation?
Well,
You see what I'm getting at there?
I only chose New Jersey plan just because it's equal.
Okay.
No matter what, win-lose situation, because one number seems to be on the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, so if you don't have a big population, if you're not offering a lot of economic avenues of business entrepreneurship, then yeah, you're not gonna be able to say anything. Okay, and I guess that kind of shows though your development compared to other country, or sorry, other states, right? And kind of shame on you then. Shame on you. Survival of the fittest here, right? Apply this social Darwinism to the plans. Ah, okay, Brock, what would you choose? Why? Yeah, it's doing pretty well. It's doing pretty well. Okay, so yeah, we do have a house set on equal representation. So we did take a little bit of the New Jersey plan, but for the most part, the Virginia plan is what we utilize today. Okay, with the 3-branch system. Okay, we have the legislative, executive, judicial. Obviously, we have a bicameral legislature, 2 houses. Okay, and we will talk about the one house with the great compromise of how it is obviously equal with this New Jersey plan. All right, but for the most part, yeah, it's the Virginia plan in a nutshell. That's why James Madison's the father of the Constitution. All right, good. Is there any questions on that? And this is explaining what I already talked about with the Virginia plan and the New Jersey plan. Again, Virginia plan, population-based, New Jersey plan, equal representation. Okay, bicameral legislation, unicameral. And we'll get into the 3/5 compromise here soon enough. I know I'm running low on time here. Is there any questions on those 2 plans? You see the political parties that I talked about? All right, so if you had a debate, Virginia plan mostly focused on the Federalist side, right? New Jersey plan mostly on the anti-Federalist side, political parties. Okay, any questions? You guys good? All right. That's all I got for today. One sec here. Let me end the recording.